Philippe, just in terms of the window, you spoke early in the season, or early in the summer, about getting a replacement for John Lundstrom. Is that a frustration from the outside? It looks as if maybe you needed another number 6 or defensive midfielder.
Yes, we talked about that in the club, and that was the initial plan. So we need to find now solutions within the squad to do that in a different way than it was before. So, yeah.
Is there any scope at all for looking at maybe free transfers, players that are out of contract?
That's still a possibility. That's still a possibility, yes.
You talk about solutions within the squad, Philippe, for the number 6. Which players can fulfil that role here?
Conor Barron is filling in that role. Dujon Sterling can fill in that role. Nico Raskin can fill in that role. But it's in a different way than Lonnie was. But we don't need to play also in the same way than we did last season. It's about what suits the qualities of the squad best, and we're going to find solutions for that.
You spoke, Philip, there about the perceived negativity around the club, the stadium, and obviously disappointment in the Champions League. Do you view tomorrow as an opportunity for the players and yourself to change that? You know, it's going to Celtic Park.
There's only one truth at the end, and that's what's happening on the pitch. So now on Sunday and the next weeks and the next months to come. So yeah, that's always like that in football. So everybody's working hard to get the best squad on the pitch, to play the best football on the pitch, and to give the fans what they want. And I think a lot of people who came to the game against Ross County went home with a really good feeling again. Seeing good football, seeing good, young, excited players, seeing potential for the future with players who can only become better instead of players who will only become less good than they were, like they had maybe last season in moments. So I think this is a really exciting project for the future, and nothing's going to be determined in that way about one game. But it's an exciting challenge tomorrow. Of course, if you can play a really good game and you can get a really good result, then you make a massive step forward as a club.
I mean, there is a kind of widespread opinion that, you know, you guys have been widely written off already. I mean, does that bother you? Does that?
No, I don't care what people are saying. I know how close we were last season, and it was a matter of details in those games. But it's about us proving that on the pitch. So I don't care about what other people are saying. I care about what our fans are thinking. I care about that because I want them 200% behind this team, behind this squad, to help all these players to get the best out of themselves. That's the only thing important for me.
In a way, do you quite like being underdog, Philippe?
No, I don't like the word underdog, and I never want to be an underdog. I never felt underdog. I played with the national team against much better countries. I never felt underdog.
Are you the type of character though that thrives when maybe people are writing you off or writing your team off?
No, I don't need that. I don't need the opinion of other people to be engaged in where I am, or to work hard, or to make things better. So no, it's not something that drives me. I just want to get the best out of this squad. I think somebody's wife is calling.
That's a fight.
Yeah.
When you won the title with Genk, no one expected it. Would winning a title this season, would that be as big as that, or?
I don't wanna speak about that. I want now to focus on this squad and to go full for that. And you can speak about titles or trophies always afterwards. The biggest mistake that players can make or managers can make, and I will never make that mistake, is to look at the end of the road and the trophy that you can get and forget the journey to get there, and to stay on that road and to follow that road in the best way. So I will never make that mistake, and I will speak enough with my players that they will not do that also.
Good afternoon. Games at Parkhead historically have been decided in the midfield. Is that where you see being the key component for the game tomorrow?
And with what statistics did you make
midfield battle always dictates how the game goes? Is that what you see the midfield?
It's always the case. So
how
do you see that then? With possession, with passing, with duels,
with everything. I think midfield in terms of numbers, you know, in games we've been outnumbered in the past there before.
I don't believe in that kind of conclusions, because we can be the best in the midfield, and if we're not the best in the both 16s, we're going to lose that game. So we need to work hard to be best all over the pitch, so everywhere. So I think that will be important. But of course, mid will going to be important, but also our defense, our attacking play, our goalkeeper. I think everything will be important in Celtic Park.
You talked about how difficult the Europa League group is. Do you think the squad's strong enough to be able to compete in that and go for the title as well?
That's going to be really challenging. So in that way, we need to be better than we were last season in amount of injuries. That's clear. So we will need a good rotation in the squad. We need a lot of work, prevention-wise with players, power-wise with players, what we are building on the last months. We're going to need also the players to take good care of themselves with their rest, with their recovery, with their sleep, with their food, with everything, with every detail. So they know this. We push this with all the squad, with all the staff. And in that way, it's for everybody in every league more challenging than ever, because it's never been so many games in such a short period. So the next 5 months, if I count until end of January, it will be games every 3 days, for sure, for the internationals. So yes, indeed, it's going to be very important for everybody in the squad to be fit and to be strong and to be ready.
Philippe, I was going to ask you maybe just a wee kind of further bit on what you were mentioning there about the medical side of it, to see, with obviously you've spoken before about big changes in the summer. Can you reflect on them now and give an opinion of how you think that's progressing with the players, and are you happy with how those changes have developed?
Yes, we have now several players who are struggling last season to play every 3 days, who did that now already in August, and it's just the first step to take in that way. So who had problems of that in the past, if they did that, they had injury problems. So there is a good progression in that way.